sine of c by 2 divided by math dot square root of state const info card get info. Yeah, that works. The info card is available here. You click on cross, simply it just goes away. And yeah, so that works. We will simply create a function called const get latitude longitude from xy, and the inputs that we will be getting is the xy canvas width and canvas height. Fine. So first of all, let's calculate x distance and y distance. So x distance would be x by canvas width multiplied by max distance, and we will declare max distance to be 4000, which will give us the x distance, and also y distance, which will be equal to y by canvas height into max distance. So these are the two things that we got to do. We have the x distance and y distance. Now let's so we have x distance and y distance. Now let's calculate const of c underscore x. So c underscore x would be x distance by radius. Okay, so let's not do this. Let's just create two different functions. Const x, const latitude equals const latitude equals get latitude from x of x distance and const longitude equals get longitude from y of y distance. We will implement these two functions. Const get latitude from x of x distance. So we have the x distance. We will calculate c first. That would be x distance by radius, and this radius is nothing but radius is 637,100. Okay, so this is the radius. Now, once we have the radius, we will just divide by it. We get c. Once we get c, we can simply add lat2 equals lat1 plus c. Now, return c plus lat1 is going to be the origin. So, this is the lat1. Okay, so we will have to add it to the radians. Okay, so it will be in the form of radians. Lat latitude in radians was this, and converted it to degrees now. So to convert radians into degrees, this is in radians. We have to convert it into degrees. Lat1 into 80 by math.pi. So it will be return latitude in radians into 180 by math.pi. So this will convert it into degrees and we will get it out. Now similarly for get longitude from y, we will take up y distance, and so here also we will have the radius as this. We will calculate c first, y distance by radius. Once we have c, we will calculate the longitude. So the longitude is going to be this long 2 longitude. So const longitude in radians would be 2 2 times of math dot a sine of c by 2 sine math dot sine sine of c by 2 math by square root of sine of c by 2 divided by math dot square root of cos lat 1 into cos lat 2 plus long 1. So we will also have to send this latitude here. Latitude math dot square root of latitude into, okay, so math dot square root of math dot cos of latitude into math dot uh, cos of origin dot latitude in radians. So for that we will be taking this up here. So here we have to keep a track of what units are we using. So we have to sine inverse of sine c by 2 upon all of these things plus long 1 plus longitude. We also have to send the longitude 1. So this is nothing but origin dot longitude in terms origin dot longitude by 180. Yeah, so this we will be adding up here. Once we have that, we get longitude in radians. We will return it in degrees. Longitude in radians. Okay, so I hope that should work now. So let's just export these functions here and let's see. So we have get xy and get latitude longitude from xy. So that works fine. Here also we'll have to make some changes in the click. So whenever we have mouse up, get latitude longitude. Let's find this function. Yeah, so get latitude longitude. We have the true x and y. Get latitude longitude from xy. We send the true x and true y over here. The x latitude longitude we will be obtaining in this format over here. And once we get that, the next part is to I'll just for first let's just log it onto the console. Latitude longitude, fine. Let's see how does that work. Okay, so we have not a number being returned, which means we are not calling the function correctly. So on canvas width and canvas height, fine. Let's see, still not a number. Let's see what is wrong with this. True x, screen x return, screen x into scale dot current. So this should, the problem is here. It's a reference, so we will be using scale dot current. I hope now it's proper, but still some issues. Okay, so is it the fact that the latitude that we are returning here is in degrees? Let's convert this latitude into radians as well. So math dot pi by 180. Let's see if that works. Yeah, now it works fine. Yeah, perfect. So this is working fine. Now we are getting the latitude, longitude from X and Y. Once we get the latitude and longitude, the next thing is to display it on the screen. Let's display it down at the center over here. Let's keep it as const info card equals use state const info card set info card use state of nothing blank. So okay, so in the info card we'll have latitude, longitude, and name of that place. We can add many other properties as well, but for now let's keep it there itself. If we have this latitude and longitude, we will just find it out there. Once we get that, we will set a label to it. So we will have a function get label for latitude comma longitude, and once we get the label, we will set info card as the following. In this we will have latitude as latitude, then you have a longitude. Actually this is not required, but for the sake of consistency, let's write this down and label as label. So we set the info card. Get label is not defined, yeah, fine. So okay, so we'll define that later on. Also, I'll say if info card and we will create a div. Okay, so just create a div dot info card, and let's wrap it up in this. Once we have this div, this div should be visible only when there's an info card. If info card and so this has to be null initially. Once we have the info card, we can just say div dot label as info card dot label. Next we have div dot coordinates as info card dot latitude comma info card dot longitude. So this is how the info card is going to look like, and we will set some properties for it. We will set some styling. For styling, its position should be fixed, and the bottom should be, let's say, 2 pixels. That's it. And yeah, so for now, let's keep it that way. Also, let's add a left to it, which would be 50%. And yeah, fine. That much is enough. Okay, so this is how we're going to do this. We also need to get labels. So in labels, we will have an array of labels. So we will have a map of labels. Okay, so in the labels, we will have latitude, longitude object, and false labels. So for every, actually we can do this for every point. For every point we can have an ID which is based on latitude and longitude. So whenever we are searching, the time complexity reduces. So if you want to search from one point to the other, now in this case what we are doing is we have these indices that are taking care of all of these things, but these indices are just on the basis of order. So what we can do simply is we can just create a hash value with the help of longitude and latitude, and that would be a unique hash value. That unique hash value can be assigned to every point object, and that will make our life easier. It will make searching easier. So it will literally boil down our searching to O of one time complexity. So let's look at the labels in label. So let's implement that here in labels. In labels, what we will do is we will have a string latitude slash longitude. So it will be of the form latitude slash longitude, and we will assign a name to it. So let's find some names here. Import labels, import labels. Once we have these labels, let's find get labels. So const label would be simply labels of uh, we will have to create a string here. So that would be latitude slash longitude. Okay, so if the label is not present, we will simply add label as label. If label is present, then say label. Otherwise, simply say uh, location data not available. Okay, so that should work. And in the info card also we should have a cross button. So we will just put an X here for now. In this cross, so for cross, if we click on this cross, the info card should close down. Mm, yes, so let's also add an on-click handler to it. Close info. Okay, on close info. Just set info card to null again. Once it is set to null, this will go away. Fine. So let's see if that works. Yeah, that works. The info card is available here. We click on cross, simply it just goes away. And yeah, so that works. Let's now try to just add some CSS to this div. The rest all CSS can be added as and when we require. So yeah, so this is how we can implement the UI for maps. We can improve this with more data. The more data we have, the more better it will look. And let's also try to find how we can route, and we can give navigation on this map so that the user can simply select any 2 points on this map, and we will show the route from the shortest route to go from one point to the other. So for that we'll be using Dijkstra's algorithm. Let's see how we can implement that. And yeah, so this is it. That was the UI that we built.